Y'all, I was a high school principal in Alabama for 20 years. I've got some stories. I'm going to tell you one tonight. I started out my educational career at the old Central High School around the corner on 15th Street. Some of y'all might even go into Old Central.
See, hi.
Anybody? Yeah, there we go. There's old Falcon there. I taught school there. I coached there. I was an athletic director there for some time. And at that time, the old Central was one of the largest high schools in the state of Alabama. And as athletic director, I went to some athletic events. But to go to a football game at the old Central was amazing, especially when we played some of these large schools like Robert E. Lee. Remember Jess Lanier out of Bessemer? And I mean, they would pack this stadium out. Throngs of people. Half Tuscaloosa Police Department would be out there. We'd have mounted guys out there just to have a presence. And if you walked in off the street to the football game, I could see where it could be a little overwhelming experience, a little intimidating. All these people. When Central played County High, they had to play at Bryant-Denny Stadium because neither school would accommodate all these people. Well, it was quite an experience. Never had a bad day. Loved it there. But I worked on my graduate work and finally finished my doctorate in school leadership. And I got a phone call from the Fayette County Board of Education, and they invited me to take the position of principal at Hubbardsville High School. And I did. I accepted the position. Now, Hubbardsville is a 1A school. Central was a 6A school. For those of you that ain't good at math, 6 A's is more than 1A. We were graduating about 700 at Central. We graduated about 35. That's hardly enough for people to start a fight, you know. But we loved it there. My children loved it, and the people were so nice. It was kind of like a little storybook place, and it still is. Well, my first week as principal at Hubbardsville High School, the superintendent walks in, and he turns around and shuts the door behind him. Old Bobby Hadcock, he was a great guy. He said, "Isaac, you're doing great here. I think you're a great fit for the community. People seem to like you, but there's one thing you need to do, and you need to do it today." And I kind of got nervous. He said, "You need to go up to the ag shop this afternoon and get Coach Markham to get a piece of pine board and cut a paddle out of it. No holes or nothing like that. Oak board is too heavy, and I'm going to show you how to swing that paddle." And I'm thinking, do what? He said, "Look, Hubbardsville's a country school. Let's out in the country, and you here in the country, you're going to have to do things the country way." He said, "These mamas and papas, these mamas and pawpaws, when their child misbehaves, you don't suspend them. You don't send them home. You burn that rear end up, and they get what's left over when they come home." He said, "You're in the country, you do things the country way." All right. About 2 weeks later, we had our first home football game. Berry High School and Hubbardsville, little county rivalry, 2 1A schools. And the atmosphere was just wonderful. About the second quarter, a lady comes up to me. She says, "Dr. Espy, my daughter's in the band, and we're having a fundraiser, and we're selling these raffle tickets. They're $1 each." I said, "Well, give me 5 of them." So I got them, and I'm looking at them, and I looked at the fellow next to me. I said, "I forgot to ask, what are they raffling away?" I'm thinking a lawnmower, a pound cake. She said, and the fellow said, "Oh, no, it's real nice. It's a brand new in-the-box shotgun." And my mind just went someplace, and I thought, when I was athletic director at Central High School, it never occurred to me one time, not a single time, that at halftime of one of those big old games, we needed to give away a gun. Well, I went home that evening after that ball game. I told my wife, I said, "Liz, I want you to sit down. You ain't going to believe this on a dare. You ain't going to believe this in 100 years. You know what they gave away at halftime? They gave away a gun. They gave away a gun at a public school sporting event. You believe that?" She said, "That's crazy. Isaac, that is crazy." I said, "Wait a minute. Maybe it's not so crazy after all." After all, Hubbardville's a country school. It's out in the country, and when you in the country, you do things the country way. Thank y'all.